Welcome everyone to another edition of Political Recap stream on the Moisky Live channel. Yes, I forgot. Joining me, as always, for this is my lovely, gorgeous co-host, TrupsLP. Say hello, TrupsLP.
Hello, TrupsLP.
How is Trups today?
I'm doing all right. Finished up work around 3 o'clock. About an hour and a half ago.
How was work?
Work's all right. I'm actually coding again, which is nice, instead of doing proposal work, which I was doing for about a month and a half.
That's good. How's your week been?
My week has been kind of odd. So I've been obviously during my day I've been working, but occasionally I'll have my Facebook open and I'll scroll through, and I find some of the most bizarre statements made
right
in response to our current living arrangement, and it's a little jarring because I kind of expect more from people sometimes.
Expectation usually comes out to bite us, doesn't it? Yeah, it always comes out to bite us.
I really shouldn't. So I've gotten into several arguments earlier in the week of just with some of the most adamantly passionate people who don't read. It seems to be a trend, honestly.
But do they know how to read? That's the question.
Yes, they do, and they're very good at reading headlines.
Oh, just the headlines. They're experts then.
Yeah, just the headlines. That's... So unfortunately, I have to contend with things like that, and the people behind them, I love them to death, but god damn it, you frustrate the hell out of me.
That's not surprising. There are some people who are it's that reactionary. It's the thing that when I started almost 5 years ago, anniversary on my main channel in a few weeks' time, where people did response videos a lot to the dreaded feminists in their bedrooms, with the avatars like mine, of course. But the responses were always "You're wrong, herder, re," and all the other nonsensical responses. Some of it was, citation needed, that's an ad hom, straw man, logical fallacy, etc., etc. Yes. But a lot of it was just reactionary, and just, it wasn't... It was like reading an article title and not bothering to actually delve into it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of pathetic, actually.
Yeah, and I see that a lot now, and sometimes I want to make a video about them.
Yeah.
But I know them, right? I know them personally. And they're good people.
Yeah.
They just have bad ideas. And that's really why I don't get into, poking at especially individuals who I personally know, whom if found, then they're like, you're that asshole. I know you. Right?
See,
kind of defeats the purpose of having a blacked out avatar.
I kind of wish sometimes that at least more than one or two of the decent, let's call them decent skeptics, the ones who are more reasonable, let's go with that, still existed. Sadly, they went the way of the dodo, and rip effing chat, I guess, for the skeptic clones. Or they have.
Well, I don't know if. Well,
there's some people who thought like that instead of those who just react.
Well, a lot of people start that way, right?
They do.
And I've watched skeptics since Gamergate, right? So
some
I've
have
watched
devolved.
them since. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Skeptics went from having principles that they were, abiding by and following.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't know about it at first, eventually they started saying, remember, guys, don't go visit these people's profiles. Don't go and harass them. Don't do anything. I am just telling you about it. You guys, I don't want you to do X. That's almost said almost in jest at this point, or as a necessity, kind of like, please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
Yeah, do you remember the thing I mentioned
on
last
a roller coaster?
Yeah, do you remember the thing I mentioned last Friday about Sinatra dishonestly taking a tweet, blocking the names out, and making it seem... It's that. You no longer have the principle, you've decided to use bad tactics to make a different point. I had this discussion with, oddly enough, in the chat, Tiger Lily and I were talking on Discord about this. Because so many of those that we respected are no longer like that, because they are more interested in... I want to loosely say drama, but they're more loosely interested in what makes them the most money. And I get it.
Well,
money's a big talker.
Of course, but even Drama Alert themselves, Keemstar, even has ethics. He's slipped up a couple times. Sure, we're human. We're human. Yeah. But for the most part, when I see him having, doing Drama Alert, he's very, don't go talk to these people. Don't intrude on their privacy. This is just an event that I'm telling you because I think it's interesting.
I think he had to learn. He had to learn that lesson though, because, and I'm not poking holes at that too much. I'm not going to praise DJ Killer Keemstar too much, but he did. If anyone remembers Wings of Redemption, he was a part of a group that were actively trying to dock. Well, I think they did in fact dox Wings. Which wasn't great, but I think he had to learn the lesson when he Killer Keemstar, that is, was swatted himself. So he learnt the lesson quickly and was like, okay then, lesson learnt.
Well, the biggest concern when you try and delve too deep into your subjects, subjects of your videos, is you end up pulling up information for all intents and purposes that are irrelevant to the person you're talking about now. So, for example, right, let's say, you know what, actually, the Kavanaugh and Biden thing is a very interesting circumstance for this, because, you're delving into Biden's past, right? Okay. Well, suddenly, now that he's running for president and getting the nomination, presumably, we suddenly find that he is, well, more Kavanaugh. There's a sexual assault allegation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that the same person anymore? Like, sure. Do you remember the Oscars hosting, what the fuck's his name?
I don't watch trash.
Short black guy.
Chris. No. Oh god, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, how he got called out for things that he said a long time ago that he had already apologized for, and said that he isn't that person anymore, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
That was a big thing when it was relevant.
Sorry, Kevin
Hart, yeah.
Not Kevin Smith, I'm thinking of someone else. I just want to say...
the big fat white guy.
Yeah, he's the big fat white guy. I want to go back on something you said. You mentioned Biden. I did just a minute ago get an alert on my phone from CNN. I don't know why Google News is promoting this. Tara Reid says Joe Biden should drop out of the 2020 race, quoted as saying, "You should not be running on character." That's popped on my phone.
Interesting.
And I'm not joking. I'll put it in sources, a screenshot, just for the sake of it.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Tiana Chittister, for the $5 super chat. It's very kind of you.
Cute doggo.
It's in our sources.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's actually really funny.
I wasn't joking.
I didn't doubt you.
Thank you.
But that's an interesting thing, because you could go delve deep into one of your subjects that you're talking about, and you could pull up information that may suit your needs for a video, but you're going to end up pulling up more information about the person than that is relevant, and you're going to try and make it relevant when it probably is old news, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, your channel has existed for what, 3-4 years?
Which one? The main one?
Main one, yeah.
Almost 5. Anniversary on the 6th of June.
Oh, sick.
5th of June. 5th of June.
So I'm sure somebody could go back and find something that you said that eventually you may have changed your tune on. And they could be like, "You're a hypocrite for this." Well, okay, but if you listen to the video, I have revised my opinion He goes, doesn't matter, you said it. Okay. Like, really? But that's essentially what gotchas are in the political sphere of YouTube, right? And Twitter.
My 5th anniversary. The gift is wood. I want you all on my 5th anniversary to give me your wood. I've just Googled it. It tells me I get wood.
Want me to send you a giant wood dick?
A wood of a wood? Yes!
The woodiest.
I want all the wood.
Woody Woodpecker.
Give me
with Woody Woodpecker
wood.
etched into the balls.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, this is a tangent, and you know, these are the issues when eventually you go too far in your building of you know, a response. And for a lot of reasons, because I know certain people, I wouldn't make videos on them, because God forbid somebody keeps delving in and finds something about my friend that I didn't want them to find out.
Thank you, Melissa Cross, for the $2 donation. That's very kind of you. And yes, Carm, you're quite right. The art of cherry picking. That was quite common. Don't forget, there was once probably the most famous bit of cherry picking within the Skeptic clone thing was when a man called Michael Rowlands took a clip of Bering saying he was against rape, absolutely against it, and they took out all the words and made him say, "I am in favour of rape." I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was actually, I remember Bering's response to that, and he literally tore him to pieces. Well, and even Roland came around eventually.
Well, yeah, it's a case of even if you say it's a joke, that's a line you don't. There are lines you don't cross. That's one of them. You really don't do that. You don't. No.
Oh, absolutely.
That's bad tactics. Just defeat the idea.
Yeah.
Don't assassinate the person. But yes,
right.
Quite important stuff, I will admit. Do you think Biden should drop out, by the way?
Yes. And the reason I think Biden should drop out is because I don't think he is physically, mentally having the capacity to perform the job.
Right.
I physically have a guttural response to the idea that Joe Biden, in his dementia-ridden, you know, nonsense, would be leading the country, responding to media, interacting with our enemies and our allies,
right,
and forgetting halfway through the conversation how he got there.
Yeah. No, that's true. How old is Biden if he's having these issues now? Because I'm sorry, there are politicians.
He's older than Trump, I believe.
He's 77. So the thing is, there are politicians older than him and people in office older that are, you know, sharper. Something must have happened. I'm not trying to. I don't want to be going down that path.
It might be genetic.
Maybe. Actually, that reminds me. Earlier, a friend of mine had retweeted a Politics 911 or something. That Ruth Bader Ginsburg was dead. Not true at all. Obviously.
No, she got discharged from the hospital like a week ago.
She's not going to die. She's quite literally an immortal. To be honest, she looks like a changeling from DS9. But she the giveaway was, it was obviously one of those fake accounts, because instead of 911 it was 9 capital I capital I. People were believing it though, and lots of people were retweeting it.
Very clever.
People were retweeting it as if it was a bad, like all the Fs and all that. I was like, I saw that and was like, you gullible shits. I pity. At this moment, I pity you.
Sometimes I love those kinds of things, but see, now that's one of those instances of I read a headline and I don't delve deeper, and that was literally my entire video yesterday.
Oh really? I need to watch that. But if you haven't already, watch it.
Yeah, a quick summary is I found a Vox article that was just straight up lies or not linked back to real sources. You know how they put the fucking blue hyperlinks in the middle of their article, and that's supposed to go to the citation that they're referencing.
It's never a citation though, is it?
Okay, it is. Sometimes it's really great at disproving what the fuck they just said.
Yeah.
Or it's hilarious because one of them linked to the author's own tweet, basically just shit talking Trump, and I was like, that's not how you get impressions.
No,
that's a lie. That's false.
Yeah. There was an article, because I said quickly Googled Biden, it just caught my attention. There's a clip of him saying that Trump's policies fueled the coronavirus economic disaster because of the jobless rate skyrocketing to levels not seen since the Great Depression. And I still feel like people are going about this the wrong way. And I had someone in my comments say that they credited me for trying to put it across. It was your point about it should be done on state. Well, I said it's state. I said county level, though, to be honest. But in the video I referenced state level.
Oh, like itemize it down and put.
Yeah,
in,
it should be done by state level.
Compartmentalize the problem.
It should be means assessed on state level. It shouldn't be everyone shuts down. But other states have done it because of one state's response, and yet they themselves aren't experiencing it the same way. And I'm sorry, that's not a good enough reason to shut your state down.
Absolutely.
You are the only instrument. You're the instrument of your own self-destruction. I'm sorry.
You know what's interesting? This is a random little tidbit, but on the subject of lockdowns and some that don't deserve to be locked down, you want to know what one of the most recommended videos, or what's the most played movies on Netflix right now?
No, I don't know what Netflix is. What is that?
Netflix being the streaming platform for movies, television shows, and some anime.
Sounds like theft, like Napster.
A little bit, except it's sanctioned. It's basically the new age Blockbuster. They used to actually deliver DVDs via the mail. Not many people know what that is.
F for Blockbuster.
Yeah. But anyway, one of the most popular movies right now is The Patriot.
That's a good... excuse me. That seems quite coincidental with what...
Appropriate that the Englishman would fucking yawn at The Patriot.
Shush. We've had a very long day, okay? Moaning about VE Day while all being stuck indoors. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because that means that a bunch of individuals have revolution on the mind.
Ah.
I'm a little wary of a country that is, by and large, watching The Patriot over again in a time where thank you, Spooky Jones, for the $10 super chat. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
I'm wary of a populace that is thinking revolution in an era where your rights had been suspended.
Yes.
Interesting. Very, very interesting to see that happen.
Yeah.
I'm terrified though, because we have seen an escalation in several states. I mean, I don't know if you were following the story about the hairdresser who had gotten arrested in Texas. She had gotten arrested, and for basically opening up her hair salon prior to the official opening date set forth in the executive order.
Okay.
She went to court, and the judge sentenced her to pay a fine and apologize. And did so very, very condescendingly. I mean, very, very condescendingly. Like, you knew what you did was wrong, so apologize to the people that you so willfully disrespected. And I'm like, excuse you? Who the fuck do you think you are? Apparently the woman thought so as well. She said, I will not apologize. And so she was held in contempt.
Oof.
And then held in prison. A day later, because of all of the media backlash, the governor of Texas amended his executive order that says that disobeying this executive order cannot result in jail time.
Mm-hmm.
A state attorney said that she doesn't have to pay the fine. I'll pay the fine. And you had a whole bunch of people rallying behind this lady. I believe her name was Shelley. Oh God, I want to say Shelley Luther, but Don't know if that's correct. Yes, I was right. Go me.
Whoa.
And so she got released today, and having been arrested yesterday. Or, sorry. She got released yesterday, put in jail 2 days prior. Sorry.
Yay for freedom.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, that was a dangerous thing to do, especially in Texas. To basically say, ma'am, you're not allowed to operate your business. And she basically said, look, I've got kids I need to feed. I have other musicians and hairstylists that need to put food on the table. I'm going to open my fucking business because we care about feeding our children more than this order. And that resonated with a lot of people.
Right.
Sorry, smoking.
I had wondered.
Yeah, no, sorry. So you have a bunch of people now who are actually willfully disobeying these executive orders, because regardless of whether or not they say you may not, you're not the legal authority here. And man, shit's getting real. In some places, it doesn't bother people too much. You know, my state's not so concerned. Other states that didn't close down, not so concerned.
Yeah.
But places like Michigan, still up there. Fucking Governor Whitmer extended her the stay-at-home order from the 15th to the 25th. Again, they extended it. And Bill de Blasio last night suspended the right to protest in New York City.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, dear Lord. That's not good.
So, you are under de Blasio's regal order. Thou shalt not gather in the town square and chant off with his head. I like to look at America as kind of an edgy, rebellious teen. You know, there are other countries who are more refined, more mature. You know, they present themselves internationally with a little bit more dignity and wisdom, and they have experience behind them. Then you have the United States, who came from those places, sure, learned their lessons by proxy, by hearing stories, and said, you know what, fuck you, we can do it better. And all the rest of the world was like, oh, did you just say the F word at us? Yeah. Fuck you.
Chat as a point, can de Blasio actually do that? You know, well, the fact he'll get sued into the ground.
Oh, I mean, yes, he can say that. Whether or not that stands up in court, I'm not sure. It's going to see. We're going to have to see what the courts in New York decide. But I believe it's the 7th District of New York courts is not very conservative. It's remarkably progressive, in fact. We'll see what they have to say. But realistically, no. They cannot legally, constitutionally, no, he cannot do that.
Good to know. I have a sneaky feeling this is going to play out rather interestingly.
Well, apparently, the cops that are enforcing these laws apparently have a new name.
Judges?
Oath breakers.
Hang on a second.
Because...
No, I've heard that somewhere else before. Tolkien. Yeah. It's Tolkien. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And basically the idea was they had an oath to uphold the Constitution. The people who are enforcing unconstitutional laws are oath breakers.
You're going to be spirits.
Well, that is the irony of the whole thing. Because I reposted on Facebook a clip, an 8-minute clip from a cop who was so disappointed. Right? He was so disappointed in cops who were basically trying to enforce unconstitutional orders, and said that you are not prepared for what will come if you continue to infringe on people's rights.
Mm-hmm.
None of you are prepared for actual combat, and none of you have the resolve to fight against people who believe that you are taking from them something intrinsic to their person. You will not win. And he said that law enforcement is a right that they are given by the public. The public chooses to obey police officers because it is what is societally accepted, and it's a good way to keep order. We understand that law enforcement are there to protect us. However, if we start to lose trust in that institution and believe that police officers are no longer out there to protect us, but in fact to infringe upon us, then they become the enemy. And this cop said, I don't want that. I want my town to love me so that I can keep them safe, and they'll call me when they need me. You are basically talking to people who are breaking their oaths. You are driving the public from you,
mm-hmm.
and you will reap the consequences of it.
Yeah.
And man, that is the realest shit that no one seems to want to talk about.
I can't imagine why.
Well, it's because they believe that if you reopen the economy, you'll die.
Earlier today, in the political video I put out, I intentionally chose certain hashtags for the video. The reason wasn't because I believed or agreed in them. No. It was because those were the hashtags that were actually being used on Twitter the night before. They were hashtag extend lockdown and hashtag keep the lockdown. The same people who are for it, because the numbers in the United Kingdom have shifted. Infection rate is less than 1. Things are improving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of people are still dying, but they've managed to find out certain things that actually make it a lot easier to work with. Like a vitamin D deficiency in so many of those infected. That's proven to be rather interesting because those who have recovered had a rather high vitamin D level. Other factors, yes, okay, the racial one, that's an interesting one. I'm not going to be drawn in on race as an argument. Obviously, I want help for everyone regardless. I'd rather we didn't devolve it down to race, but if someone is more susceptible because of race, we should certainly do something to help. Of course. I don't understand how it could be, but that's interesting.
Unfortunately, and this is a major problem with a lot of people, because this is part of the same problem that exists when individuals want to change the sex on their birth certificate.
Right.
There are medical standards that are expected because of how your DNA works. Right? A man is likely going to contract prostate cancer, or has the chance to, usually about the age of 40 plus, right? And so you begin a prostate exam when you go to the doctor's office after a while. I am luckily half that age, so I don't have to worry about that for 20 more years.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie. I'm 24. What?
You said half the age and 20 is half the age.
I mean, I said you start about 40. I didn't want to say about 50 because I realized
the moment he turns 40, I could put money on it. His fiancée, then wife, will drag him down there just to watch a doctor stick their fingers up his bottom, and she will laugh so much.
No, I'll just make the doctor really uncomfortable and start moaning.
Hey. I made dinner first, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can make that joke, too. I'm sure the doctor's heard it all before. You think any dad hasn't gone in there and made dad jokes? I mean, come on.
Actually, I think it'd be a lot funnier if you walk in and just be like, hang on, I've got one last wax strip out.
Oh God! Disgusting.
I'm ready for you, Daddy.
But disgusting. Be careful. That's gonna show up somewhere.
I don't care.
As long as Saki doesn't find out.
I don't care. It's fine.
It's not the first time you've done it anyway.
No, it's not.
But there are medical things that men are more susceptible to, women are more susceptible to, black people are more susceptible to, and white people are more susceptible to.
Yeah, there are some differences.
Sickle cell tends to represent itself in African American men.
Interestingly, there are a number of articles that have pointed out that with coronavirus, men are more likely to die from it at the moment. Which, interestingly, it did lead to an article I saw, and I'd wished I'd grabbed it, that claimed that this meant that because that somehow women were the victim, and I was like, it goes back to that view I have of, can we please stop blaming? And yet every article I'm coming across at the moment is just finding a way to create a blame, a victimhood, and I don't see the point. I do see the point. Attention. Look at me. I need attention. How about instead we deal with the problem, please? Because this isn't all about women, it isn't all about men, it isn't all about race, it really isn't. It's a problem that needs addressing, and we need to get the economy up and running again, please.
So, you know how I told you before we started that I went on some of my friends' Facebooks and pulled some of their articles and whatnot?
Yeah.
One of the people actually had posted up a thing that said, this is a list of a non-complete list of people who have been domestically abused during lockdown, and we need to talk about the danger that they face in lockdown, while at the same time saying we can't reopen.
Yeah, there is actually a bit of a weird rise in DV in this country. My sister yesterday had to go all the way up to Essex, which is a fairly long drive, to pick up a friend of hers who was being beaten by her partner at the time. Because during lockdown, his wise idea was to snort cocaine and assault his daughter.
Oh, okay.
I should have been taken along. It would have been a lot more fun.
Oh, okay. Here's what it is. Here's the. This is actually from the scottishsun.co.uk. Domestic violence victims share horrific photos as 14 killed since lockdown began.
What I want to know is, because while I would... Oh, no, actually, no, I'm not going to say it. No.
Yes, it's all women.
No. Because there was a... During the... when the lockdown started, there were numbers about how many on average die when, before the lockdown, on a regular basis, a number of people die. I want to know what that difference is in DV stats under lockdown.
I definitely want to find out, but you know what? It's probably much less likely to come out.
It seems really callous, and I feel really bad saying that, to be honest.
And the biggest issue that I have with that is that's horrible. Like, right? That's terrible. Nobody deserves that. That's unacceptable. But I have an issue with them saying, or these 14 people have shared images of their domestic abuse. And so we shine the light on them because they've publicized their abuse.
Yeah.
What about everyone who didn't? What about everyone who's not? I hate seeing in domestic violence cases it only featuring women for the most part, because I am very well aware that men have also suffered abuse in domestic partnerships, and it's not pretty either for them. I mean, right now we've got Johnny Depp in the news with Amber Heard, and Amber has not only emotionally abused this man, but has in fact cut his finger off at one point.
Is that alleged still?
No.
Okay.
That is no longer alleged. That happened.
Did it? Oh, jeez.
She in fact cut off his finger. Well, that's an unfortunate circumstance, and it doesn't get a lot of news, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know how
And
to
not to
respond to that.
mention something else that hasn't been touched upon during these lockdowns, are the amount of suicides that lockdown has caused. Because lockdown has taken a lot of people away from their safety net, their social circle, their this is my happy time kind of thing.
Right.
And a lot of people have suffered through that. I know damn well
Yeah.
that you could look up suicide right now on Google, don't if you don't want to, and you will find lockdown related suicides. I know this only because other people have covered it. And one of the more interesting ones is the third Russian doctor has jumped from. I'm sorry. The headline said fell out of a hospital window and died. And he was treating people with coronavirus. Third doctor, quote unquote, fell. No, he fucking jumped. Otherwise, put some fucking bars on that one window, I guess. People keep falling out of it. But Johnny Depp lost the case. Not entirely, not quite yet. It's still going, my friends. It's still going. Yep, there you go. Already hit us.
By the way, Disc
And that was
sorry what your dad went through, mate,
Huh?
and to Alicia. Sorry about that. Domestic abuse victims. Just,
Oh yeah.
stuff in the chat.
No, it's a serious topic, and it needs to be addressed by the media, who, as you said, is more. They're looking for a victim, right?
Yes.
I fucking found them. They're everywhere. Talk about them. No. Why? Because they don't fit your fucking narrative.
Well,
assholes.
in the UK, more does get spoken about, but it is very much still. Is it gyrocentric or gyrocentric?
What are we talking about?
Women.
Oh, gynocentric? Women-based.
Gyno, right, yeah. So it's still very much still that. And I'll agree. Under these circumstances, it would be nice to hear. It'd be nice to know that things are being done to help. There is some policy in place to help victims, but I'm not aware of whether or not it has actually positively impacted people or not. In the sense of gotten them out, gotten them somewhere safe, so they can ride this rather annoying lockdown out in safety.
I would rather, instead of saying they need to ride out the rest of this lockdown, open up the country. I mean,
nice.
I shared that article with you earlier, right, from the Daily News.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, I believe the actual headline read something along the lines of Britain's full lockdown a waste of time? Scientists find blanket stay-at-home orders had little effect on curbing coronavirus outbreaks in Europe, but closing schools and banning all mass gatherings did work. So, in the sense that, did it curb the overall infection rate by closing schools and mass gatherings? Yes. Did everybody else need to be locked down? Probably not.
To be honest, I don't think they gave the distancing a chance. In my town, distancing happened for about 2 days, and then lockdown. It was like, okay, you're basically like a fat person on antidepressants. You took it once, said it didn't work, and went back for a different one, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
It wasn't a cure-all. So they thought, I know, if I keep them locked away, they can't get sick, right?
The thing is always done. No. I'll be honest. While it may have impacted in some manner the infection rate, one thing it did do was exacerbate anyone's already fragile mental health. If you, for example, have depression, I can be almost certain this has done you no favours at all. Especially if you're isolated or you're not able to be near to those you want to be near, loved ones especially. Yeah, your mental health really does struggle. I'm not going to use anecdotal evidence because I don't care enough. But I know it impacts people negatively.
You know, one of the most curious things, and this is almost tangential, but it's cursory related. I never understood where anecdotal evidence becomes research evidence. You know what I mean? How many different stories eventually makes a trend, and that trend is worth mentioning. You know what I mean?
It isn't evidence. It is never evidence. It is just a trend. Only in a courtroom, but it has to be supported by actual hard copy evidence. Otherwise, it is only just a story. To be sensationalized by somebody who is intellectually dishonest.
Right. I don't know. I get really kind of pissed off because it's like, all right, so all the stories that I have working as a student counselor, I mean, I don't have their records, but I know the story. But telling it is anecdotal, but I know it happened.
So,
of course, that's anecdotal.
We are definitely not Karen enough. You're right. We need to work harder.
Okay, making light of the current topic, which is terribly, terribly depressing. I saw the greatest post on a Karen thing.
Oh, jeez.
And it said, "We don't call you Karen because we're sexist. We call you Karen because you're a cunt. We really want to call you a cunt. But we opted for Karen."
I wish I had that in my video. That would have been brilliant. That would have been funny.
And I thought that was hilarious. It's like, we're not calling you Karen to be a dick. We want to call you cunt.
That's impressive.
I thought that was hilarious, and I reshared that shit immediately.
Yeah. I like that.
But I really think we need to reopen both the UK and the US. I mean, obviously, different territories or states, or I don't even know what the fuck you guys call your.
Let's call it
little...
environments. Different environments.
Sure. Yeah. They have to be environmentally sound. So London, New York City, probably not opening up anytime soon.
Weirdly,
they have their
scientists have managed to confirm the infection rate is less than 1 in London, of all places. Because of that, unions for the Tube and a number of other places, Transport for London mostly, have said they're going nuts. That they are going to start opening everything to full use again, because they want at least 70% of it running, so that their employees or the people who pay unions are able to work. The highest risk at the moment is actually in the north of England at the moment, which is great for me because I'm in the bottom corner, and I'm sat back.
I thought you were in the fucking north.
Right, I sound like a northerner, don't I?
But I don't know what it sounds like.
Northerner would be comparatively, Disknar is more of a northerner than I am.
Okay, so I know that accent. That's fine.
Skog is further north than I am.
Oh. Okay.
And he is a Midlander. Right? That's the comparison. Further north, the letter T kind of jumps off a bus and says, "Sorry, lads, I'm no longer following you." Or a bunch of other words and grammar also vanish. Never mind. The accent gets very heavy. Let's go with that. But it's more
enough.
prevalent up there, and so me in the bottom, where the government is possibly relaxing. Who did I say it to? I said my friend David. We were playing golf with friends, and I said to him that the government was thinking about relaxing the rules a little for libraries. And I said, "Who the hell uses a library?" And his response was, "After all these weeks in isolation, I can imagine a lot of people are going to go to the library as an excuse to get out of the fucking house." That's a good point, actually.
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. But few other little places. Go on.
Has your country cleaned the tube?
Do you have any idea how to clean the tube?
I don't, but I know that there was an article that New York City cleaned their subways for the first time in 115 years.
I would love to see, right, when they take the they take that thick black layer of dust off the tube. Like, they took it all off our London tube, because I've been on it a few times recently. If they took all that black dust off, I wonder if it would clean the air up. I wonder if people would look around and be like, is concrete meant to look like this? Or are they going to see? Or is the
That's what concrete looks like when it's clean?
Or is it going to be a case of people are going to see it and they're going to see lots of cracks in the concrete because the black soot in the dust was hiding it and holding it all together. Although I know how the tube is made. Really, I know it won't fall apart. Thank you very much. They have internet at the library. That's good to know. I have it at home as well. I don't want to go to the library. I've got a Kindle.
That was. I don't want to go to the library. I have a Kindle.
Seriously? Have you now? I have my e-books.
Have you now? I've got an e-book.
I have.
Who has these regular books nowadays?
More than that, I have a box of books. Box of books in the loft.
I've got some books in my room.
I have some in my room as well. Yeah, I do too.
I one of the weirdest things, and feel free to judge me on this, but some of the only books that I kept from college were my stat books and calculus.
Judging intensifies. Oh wait, I did the same thing. It's all right. You're good.
Just in case, the world forgets.
No, I'm with you on that. Actually, I was given 10 book on these statistics and variables, and they're about 100 pages each. But they were given to me as a gift because they're really old. But the numbers because the books were 50, 60 years old, and I've still got them, and they're in mint condition, and they are so beautiful, and the numbers are, it's just actually for mathematics, it's elegant and it's ordered. It looks fantastic, and it makes me very moist.
I'm very happy that mathematics, out of all books I could keep, mathematics will stay relatively the same.
Yeah.
They may add on different methods and new, discoveries, but the fundamentals will remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I keep them, just in case the world no longer knows how to make a trebuchet.
Trebuchets are pretty cool.
I think they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Before we get on to some other random tangential topic, did you actually have an actual topic you wanted to mention, an article or anything?
Let's see. I actually had 6 written down here. Number 1, Nigel Farage believes that Keir Starmer beat Boris Johnson in Prime Minister's questions. And the crux was that Boris did admit that the government stopped contact tracing back in March. Keir Starmer says that Jeremy Corbyn's leadership and an overloaded manifesto had cost them the 2019 general election. The Conservatives are divided on how to end the lockdown. Boris wants to be cautious. A large number of Tories differ for various reasons. Some because they're free market capitalists, and others because their constituencies, are barely affected. With the ERG... Oh, who the fuck is the ERG again? I can't remember. Give me a moment. ERG, who are they? Are they European something group? Oh, no. I'll Google it quickly. ERG, who are they? ERG are the European Research Group. That's who. Steve Baker for them, calling the lockdown absurd, dystopian and tyrannical. Current UK deaths for coronavirus hit 31,000. It's still on a downward slope, but it's slow going. Scientists do believe that with vitamin D deficiencies, those that are infected are twice as likely to die from COVID-19. I have sources for this, by the way, and I'll be dumping it at some point somewhere. I don't know where. And the final one was was actually Diane Abbott, who was reprimanded by Keir Starmer for taking part in a Zoom conference with an activist who says that Jews financed the slave trade. That activist was expelled from the party, and they're not wrong. But Diane Abbott, interestingly, so we did talk about this before we went live. On this channel, there are 2 videos that they are just ridiculously popular, 70, 80,000 views each. It was insane. But I privated them 2 months ago because they were about Diane Abbott's son, and I was very confused by what happened because he had such a prominent diplomatic role in the Foreign Office and as an ambassadorial office, which did make me think perhaps, I don't know what happened, because he had gone from that to being given 16 charges for various assaults, indecent exposure, and more assaults over a period of time in hospitals. The one thing I hadn't realised then, and I wished I'd said it in the videos, was that he had, it was obvious there was something mentally wrong, which then made me think, how on earth did he manage to work his way up like that to just come down? Which really confused me. It really did confuse me. And he has now, I believe, been, where is it? No, that's Diane Abbott. Yeah, her son has been, he has, oh right, I now know why. Guess what he was hooked on?
Cocaine?
Crystal meth. You're right. He pled guilty to 16 offences, and he has been sectioned under Mental Health Act, with a judge making an interim hospital order while a psychiatric report was prepared. Morris Minor in the chat, 10 points to your respective Hogwarts house. But yes, that was what happened. And I didn't mention that because obviously we didn't know about the crystal meth. It was not mentioned in the articles cited at the time. I privated those videos though, not because of how well they did, but because of some of the comments were very interesting. A lot of them were incredibly racist. And I'm sorry, I have to be careful with this channel. I can't... When it's so blatantly racist, I have to... I don't delete comments, but I have to make a decision if that video could have a positive or negative impact when all I want to do is talk about what has happened and not try and be drawn into something that I consider trivial, like race. I really don't care about race. I really don't. So I've privated them because I didn't want that to continue. Because I think even though those videos did amazing for this channel, I can't risk that kind of behaviour. And I wanted not behaviour, but that kind of backlash. And I kind of wanted to know what you thought about that.
So, I mean, the idea of privating videos isn't completely lost on me. There are videos on this channel, on my channel, on TrupsLP, that
Subscribe.
I've privated because... yes, thank you. That I had privated because they were from a earlier time in YouTube, before I came back, per se. And I had privated them all way before I started making other videos again. And, you know, from playing games with, you know, different friends or projects that I had done for school, some of those exist on here, some of them don't. Some of them exist in different channels and stuff like that. The point was that there was just something about it that was not accurate anymore, not relevant anymore. And so in the case of your videos, where yes, they did have 70 to 80,000 views, and technically probably the response was may or may not have been reasonable for the information provided at the time.
Mm-hmm.
With new information or a new direction comes the opportunity to, I don't want to say erase, but to almost put aside something that's not relevant anymore. I would instead of just privating them and, you know, not talking about them, as we're doing here, I would make a comment about it, saying I have privated X, Y, and Z because I simply find those things no longer true. I don't think that we had enough information, and now with the new information, I think that there's a better way to address the situation. Honestly, if you were to now make another video on Diane Abbott's son, touching upon the new information, that may be a wise decision.
That's actually a really good idea. Monday's video, everyone. You can thank Trups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that may be a wise decision, because then you can kind of sum up why those other videos weren't relevant anymore and why this new information is.
To be fair, straight Sith male, private videos you can't see at all. And so no. Is the profile picture a bit too bright? I do apologise. My intention was to try and update the channel a little bit to look a bit brighter overall. If it is too bright, of course, I will revert it. Piss off, voice assistant on my phone. I will, of course, seek to change it at some point. Yes. I'll have to be reminded about that video topic now that you said. Actually, no, I can just put it on my put it on Discord. I can remind myself now. I will definitely make it a point though, because I think it's actually a good idea. What will the date?
Well, I think that it kind of sums up the almost like a culmination of all the topics that you've made about him, right?
Yes.
You said these things, all these words, and now you have a new statement to make. And that is my new statement, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
These other videos, they're going to go private. I'm not deleting them, but they're being privated because that information is, in light of new information, old and bad information.
Yeah, it'd be better than me just saying, honestly, some of you guys were racist as fuck. Seriously. What is wrong with you?
I mean, you could say that too.
I might do. I mean, if you're being, I mean, I'll tell you the one place where I did put it, where the comments were 100% racist. Because obviously I don't upload.
BitChute.
10 points to your house. And
yay! 10 points for Slytherin, everybody.
Well done. I don't obviously read them much over there, but there are some that, yeah. I will say this though, a lot of people on BitChute, if you do watch this on playback, hi, I'm not throwing shade at you for watching on BitChute. I do read the comments. It's just on those two particular videos that aren't on YouTube, the comments were essentially gorilla noises over and over again. Not
BitChute
joke.
People, stop saying the gamer word.
I'd like to speak to your manager, please.
No, I don't want to speak to your manager. Just stop it. Be better.
Be better. Jesus.
I'm disappointed in you, like your father who left.
That really hit me. That hit me hard because mine did leave when I was a kid.
But he probably wasn't disappointed in you for saying the N-word.
Yo, if my dad ever walked in on me saying that, he probably would have just joined in and been like, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right." No, I'm kidding. You never.
I almost just choked on my beer.
My dad would never say anything like that. Actually, he's for a liberal guy. He's not prone to slips.
My dad would.
My dad is very apathetic towards it. If he hears someone say things like that, there's one thing that will loosely follow it. He'll take the back of his hand and crack. He will hit you.
My dad would say it because
he'll hit anyone that says it. Literally anyone.
He, well, you see, my father's from Cuba, and then he moved to Spain, then lived in New York City, and he went to Xavier Military High School. And on the way home, there was one story that he would tell me, where at Xavier Military High School you wear a saber on your uniform.
Beautiful.
But in New York, you're not allowed to wear a saber. Like on the thing, so you have to put it in this large cardboard tube. And he was sitting in the subway, heading back to his apartment or whatever, and this guy comes up and tries to mug him, pulls out a switchblade and says, give me your money. Now again, I don't know why this mugger decided to fuck with a guy in a military uniform, but whatever. He was a young kid looking like, so whatever. My dad pulls out the saber, points it at him, and goes, "Mine's bigger." Apparently the man then promptly folds the switchblade up and goes to the opposite side of the subway car and sits back down. But my father ended up becoming a Newark prosecutor. So that's inner city New Jersey prosecutor. Yes, I do have communism running in my veins. So far, it has run so far that it is the furthest thing from what I believe in.
Grats?
I was responding to Sean in the chat.
Okay, you go get him, commie.
Yeah, we'll get those commies. We'll take over the communists and then turn it capitalist again, like Chile did.
Yay!
Everyone needs a good helicopter ride.
I feel like I completely misunderstood that.
Pinochet, the ex-communist leader, or ex-dictator of Chile, threw communists out of a helicopter.
For some reason, I have helicopters in cock trick in my head.
Oh, no, not helicopter dick. No, not that. Very different, very different. Not this conversation, but I understand.
Yeah.
Your dad sounds like a badass. I like to think so. I don't know if he likes to think so anymore, but I think the way that he says it is learn from what I've done and don't be like me.
Nice way of putting it.
Into trouble. What were you saying?
Nice way to put it, really.
Yeah. Well, because eventually he became a lawyer, an attorney. So, being a prosecutor in Newark, he tends to find that the people who do all the bad things invariably came out black. So he has a very realistic sense of statistics. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where his opinions come from. But he is actually very, very kind in general to anybody. He just knows statistics for inner cities, and he will tell you. But some of his best friends from high school are black, whom he loves to get into arguments with. Can't imagine where I got it from, right?
I don't know what to say to any of that.
That's all right. That was just random tidbit.
Okay.
About
is there anything you would like to talk about then, or should we finish here?
No, I think that's about it.
Do you want to shill anything?
Yeah. If you guys, go check out that video that I put up on my channel yesterday. I ranted for about 10.5 minutes. It's been linked in the chat a couple times.
Yeah, I'll do it again. I will do it now. There you go. Go watch Trup's new video. Yeah, go subscribe, please. We would greatly appreciate it.
I'm 6 away from 600, so that would be a nice little milestone to hit.
Yeah.
And I'd really appreciate it.
Go do a Karen a favor and give him a subscribe.
Yeah, and please, for the love of God, offset the bots that have decided to start commenting on my videos.
Don't! I get them on all my videos now. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends?
Oh my God, do you remember me? Do you want to be friends? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? I just don't know how to respond.
That's my life right now. What about you? You have anything to show?
No. I will be working all weekend on the final installment on Nick Avocado's Content Cop. So I'll be doing the entire video all weekend, except for tomorrow evening. I will be playing Cards Against Humanity on So Psyched, her channel, SOPSCH, whatever. She was in the chat. That one. Yes, tomorrow evening, but otherwise I'll be working on Nick Avocado all weekend. If I don't get it done by Monday, I will be working on it on Monday as well to make sure it's done for Friday. That's my intention. It will be done. CC, just subscribe to you.
Oh, yay. Thanks, folks. I enjoy your subs. Thank you very much.
Go watch his videos now and like them all, CC. Or you'll be put on timeout.
I didn't say that. He said it.
You'll be put on timeout. Anyway, I think we're done here. Say goodnight, Trupsy Swagness.
Good night, Trupsy Swagness.
Good night, Trupsy Swagness.